Hello everybody, I am Sammy Fitting the Dragon Tim here, and today I'm going to be doing something, show on my channel that I've been meaning to do for a long time, ever since I started this channel, but I just never really did, and this is the PAVA alternative music talk. Alright, every once in a while, or hopefully once a month from now on, I will do a review or talk about something in the alternative music genre. And it's a genre I'm very familiar with. And I'll be mostly doing all album reviews. And the album reviews to get us starting off with is Walk the Moon, and their newest album, Talking is Hard. This is the cover art for the album. That it of course belongs to the group and belongs to whoever owns it, and yada yada yada. Disclaimers out of the way. And just want to get one thing straight real quick. Before I continue, I want you to know that you will be seeing clips. You're just seeing this picture and hearing my voice. And you won't be hearing any of the music, which is sad. I mean, I would, but, you know, YouTube's about that. And I don't want them suing me, so I don't have the kind of rights to do that or the leeway to do that yet, so I'm just gonna be doing the my thoughts and opinions on it. So, just want to start talking about the songs on the list. This is their second album. The first album was, of course, Walk the Moon, about 2 years ago, I believe. This is their second album. The first album, they also had an EP called Tightrope, but that EP just had like a few different songs, and they have it in the live versions and a few different versions of some songs. So the only real songs that are really made to that album is Ain't a Way I Can, TDT, and a few other songs. Tightrope and Tightrope Acoustic, you know, that's not really. Yeah, there was a good song on the original album, but oh well. If you told me you asked me what album is better, I would actually find it hard to say. Honestly, Talking is Hard, I believe, is the better album from their original Walk the Moon. Simply because there's just more songs and catchier songs to listen to. The only really good songs on that album was Anna Sun, Tightrope, and that was Shin Shiver Shiver. That's basically about it, you know. Yeah, but even then, they're just kind of meh. The only thing, they didn't have really a song that to get them over to the mainstream radio. And I believe this album may or may not have a song that will allow them to do that. And that song is the number 3 track, Shut Up and Dance. It's very poppy, it's very upbeat, it sounds a lot like Young the Giant to me, honestly. Which is kind of like them. I think they're like from the same area. But Walk the Moon has a very upbeat feel to them. They're very pop rockish, alternative-ish. They're their own little thing. They're basically new alternative, along with so many other bands. But unfortunately, they have yet to stand apart from other bands who have made their mark in the alternative genre, like Young the Giant, Walk the Moon, Imagine Dragons, Fun, and many more bands who have very much so made their mark on the genre and music in general. And you know, in this whole entire rat race to see what at this point who's going to be the next big alternative band, and Walk the Moon is definitely not going to be it. It seems to me that if you're going to be really big, huge sensation at this point, the last 4 or 5 years have been if you want to be a great sensation in the alternative genre, you have to be already existing, or you have to swing right out of the gate with a really good album, like Imagine Dragons did, Young the Giant did, and several other bands that Walk the Moon has really done that. You know, their first album was a bit of a success with the alternative genre, but that's really about it. But their second album may have somewhat of a minor impact on the mainstream. Shut Up and Dance and Different Colors are both very catchy songs. Different Colors is, of course, the first track of the song. This album, other than the 2, of course, popular songs you've already heard on like some alternative radio stations, Different Colors and Shut Up and Dance, there Is there other stuff in the album that you probably have yet to hear? Not really. There really isn't much else in the album you haven't that doesn't sound familiar. Sure, they have a bit of a rhythm to it. They make you want to thump your foot a little, but you're pretty much thumping your foot throughout the whole entire album, so it doesn't really matter, you know. But if I were to give this album without ever listening to the two popular songs, what songs would I know? Would I know which songs would be successful? I would pretty much guess "Shut Up and Dance" would be successful on the radio, simply because of how upbeat it is. Same thing with "Different Colors." I would guess that, but I would also guess that some other songs like "Avalanche" and "Work This Body," you know. But my favorite songs are actually the last three songs, were the last fourth of the album is We Are the Kids, Come Under the Covers, and Aquaman. Those, I really like that beat of it. They have a very smooth and very slow rhythm to it, but it has that still kind of upbeat feeling that Walk the Moon is pretty much known for. If you like the first album, you're probably gonna like the second album too. You know, if you like their EP and the first album, you're just buying this album. You know, but is it really a good album? Yes, but it is what it is. It's not. It's it's an album by an alternative group that has a bit of a poppy sound to it, pop rock sound, but not so much to the extent of Train or Maroon 5, but they have that very vibe going on, that very pleasant, glasses half full, not empty kind of full feel to it. They have a very positive feel to them, and you know, they have this whole entire rhythm going, and I believe their momentum coming from the first to the second album is in fact continuing. They stake their mark as a B-rank alternative band in the genre, which, being a B-rank band in a specific genre is not at all an easy feat as it sounds. It's actually very much a compliment. B or C rank. I really like these guys a lot, and I think they'll continue to produce more albums as it comes. But I just don't think they're as good as some of the other bands we've seen. Yes, they're very talented, but they've yet to have a big hit, and I don't think they really ever will. They probably have a hit that gets played in a few commercials, and I think the "Shut Up and Dance" will maybe play in a few movies, a movie or two, because of just how upbeat it is. But oh well. Also, I want to say that I like the album name. A lot of bands nowadays just name the album after one of their songs, or you know, or something like that, or after themselves. Talking is Hard. There's not a single song on this list there's no song from the album that is called Talking is Hard. So what does this Talking is Hard mean? Well, this is my interpretation of it. It's basically a journey about having a hard time talking, but talking is hard. Anyway, I feel like it's a journey about, or talking about the difficulties and the awkwardness of adolescency and young adulthood, and the awkwardness that comes with it, and the stutterings that some of the younger generation has, and the weird feelings of having like different stuff or different music, and just being different in general. That's why I feel it is. And a lot of these songs have that kind of vibe to them. Have the kind of it's okay to be awkward kind of vibe, and I very much appreciate this. I like this album a lot. I like the story that kind of has with it. It's very upbeat from the top, but it kind of slows down to the middle. And it's a very well organized album. I believe that. I like this album, but I don't think I'm going to listen to this album too much after a while. Unlike some albums I keep listening, re-listening, and going back to listen to. I think this is an album that you're pretty much going to be buying just because you like the band. If you're not a fan of the band or this new alternative sound, I don't really recommend this this group to you guys. However, if you are a fan of the genre and fan of the band, I do recommend it. If you're a fan of the genre, I believe you should just that whole entire new sound. If you like the Young the Giants, Cage the Elephant, Imagine Dragons, and those guys, you should at least check these guys out if you've never even heard of them, or check some of the stuff out on the album. This album is very good. It's good for what it is. It's nothing amazing or jaw-dropping. Oh my god, I have to get this. It's a good album. It's a good, solid album. That's all it is, and that's probably all it will ever be. It's just a good, solid second album. There's, you know, so what is my rating for this? I honestly have to say this is 7.2. It's a good album, but it's nothing more than that. It's a good, solid alternative album, and I'm ranking this not on just music in general. I'm ranking this in terms of the alternative genre. If I'm just breaking this just on music in general, I would say they're a 6. But in terms of the alternative genre, I'm giving them 7.2. And something I forgot to mention, when I rate bands, we're talking about bands, I'm rating them compared to other bands within the genre. So just keep that in mind. They have a very... Another thing I want to mention about them is they have a little bit of a late 90s upbeat feel to it. You can kind of, not 90s, more like an upbeat 80s feel. Like an upbeat pop 80s to it, you know, in a way. I mean, that's just my impersonation. I could be wrong compared to you guys. You guys think I'm going wrong or saying something completely false. But this is just my personal opinion. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this enlightened you to like buy or not buy this album. So, please like, subscribe, and all that silly stuff. And I hopefully shall see you guys next time.